Good evening, everybody. I hope you are all having a good evening. I'm only half ready for stream tonight, so we're gonna kind of wing some of this, and we're gonna we're doing it live. We're doing it live. That's what's the state of things are. So. First of all, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you all here. There are some things I want to show off before we really get into the stream tonight. Why is that stream elements pop? I don't know why the stream elements popped up. I thought I turned that off. That's what's allowing the chat to be shown on screen, but I thought I disabled that. I don't know. Whatever. In any case, first thing I want to talk about tonight is that I spent this past weekend along with my good friend Paul Stamp, my good friend Doug Diedrich, James Lausner, so many people, Ed O'Connell, my lovely girlfriend Teresa, so many people up in Concord, New Hampshire, in and around Concord, for the NER convention, the Northeast region of the National Model Railroad Association. We had the NER convention this past weekend up in Concord, and it was a blast. I had a ton of fun. It was a great time, and I will definitely be going back next year as long as I am able. Let's see, who do we have here as I'm talking about the convention? We got Scott, Garrett, Adam, Kyle, Andy. Good to see you all tonight, folks. So one of the most exciting things that happened at the convention was at the awards breakfast. I was called up to the very front of the room in front of the whole convention and given this fancy schmancy plaque. This is the Robert W. Spade Award. It is given to folks who foster the hobby, really promote model railroading, grow the hobby, and especially push the hobby in communities of younger people. Created by the Great Falls Model Railroad Club in honor of Robert W. Spate, who was a big advocate for the hobby to younger people in the club, and they founded this award in his memory. And I was I was chosen to receive it this year, which was really, really cool. I vaguely remembered that earlier in the year, like sometime springtime, I don't remember exactly, the Hudson Valley region superintendent asked me to write something up about what I do in the hobby for young people, especially. And I wrote about how I, do the live streams here. I wrote about how I was, the club president at the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute Train Club, and how I kind of brought the RPI club back after COVID and made sure that things kept going. And I talked about my work. I think I talked about my work in the model train people community. But all of that was, I guess, enough for me to receive this beautiful plaque. So I want to thank everyone at the NER, all of the division presidents / superintendents / whatever, who voted for me to receive this. It is a huge honor, and it's just so cool to be recognized. That's my main thing with the hobby. My main thing with these streams is to try and push the hobby and promote people to get out there and get modeling and have fun and build community and so on. So it's just cool to be recognized like that. So that was really, really awesome. to receive yesterday morning at the awards breakfast. Why is there an advertisement on this music? There's never been an advertisement on the music in the past. Anyways, thank you all for your congratulations. It means a lot. Both this plaque means a lot to me, but also your congratulations mean a lot to me because it's really awesome to hear back from you folks out there in the community. So Scott, Adam, Andy, thank you all. Andy, to answer your question, next year the NER convention is going to be in, I believe, Southbridge, Mass, which is right near the old Sturbridge Village, a little west of Worcester. So, and I think it's going to be the second weekend in October, I believe. I don't have the date frame in front of me, but it's second or third weekend in October next year. So that's the first thing I wanted to share. The second thing I wanted to share is, so at the convention, there was a ticket raffle. And, you bought 25 tickets and you cut them all up or ripped them all up and put them in different bags. And, of course, I went ahead and put tickets in just about every single end scale thing there was, right? And of all of the things that I put tickets into, I want an HO scale boxcar. Because of course I did. But I'm still happy. I did put one ticket in this because in my New Haven, or my color guide to New Haven rolling stock, or whatever the book is called, there is this lettering, the brown boxcar with the white New Haven block lettering and everything, but it has the New Haven script logo behind this side of the boxcar peeling its way back through the paint, and that's a really neat thing. So I want to recreate that. I wish I had the picture pulled up of it, but I don't have it right in front of me right now because I'm very unprepared tonight. Paul, welcome in. Good stream tonight. I'm glad you got your track work fixed up immediately after your stream ended. So that was my winnings from the raffle. My boxcar did take second place at in its category for judging. Neither of my models earned AP merit. But then you ripped out the fixed track. Oh boy, Paul. No, it sure doesn't look N scale, Garrett. This boxcar is going to my very small collection of HO scale stuff. Don't worry, it'll run in a freight train with a 80 foot passenger coach as a caboose, as Paul will be able to attest to. But the last thing I wanted to show before we really get into the stream tonight is the quote-unquote completed Hopewell Depot. So this is, I say quote-unquote completed because I'm still not quite happy with it. I think I'm happy enough with this model that this will be able to go on my T-Track modules for the Upload Express modelers build. But it did come out really nicely, but there are some things that I do want to go back in and redo. So I'm gonna redo the whole model. I think this one's gonna live on the T-Track modules, and I'm gonna build a separate model just for my own enjoyment. Unfortunately, I didn't get a ton of feedback at the convention from the AP judges, which did frustrate me a little bit, but it is what it is. They can only do so much. But we've got the Hopewell Junction sign right there. We've got all the brackets in place, as you can see, although they are slightly too large. They're like probably 10% too large. But I really want to thank Rick R for 3D printing these for me in such a short notice. I gave him like less than a week to get them printed and get them to me. So I really want to thank Rick for getting those done for me. But this is what we wound up with, and I'm super happy with it as my first ever like full-on scratch build. But like I said, this is now gonna go ahead and live on my T-Track module, and I'm gonna build a new one with you know, a little more attention, a little more care, a little more time, you know, to really take my time and get things right. Just for my own personal enjoyment. So, I just figured I'd share because I've been working on this on stream. This is what we wound up with. So, that's the depot. Depot build all wrapped up for now. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. I think it looks pretty good too. I just wish I gotten a little more feedback on what I could do to improve. You know, the one piece of feedback I did get, which is fair, is that on this end, on this corner, in one of the reference photos, we've got a little phone box, and there's a actual a vent pipe right here that can be go away, Lowe's. There's another vent pipe that comes up through the roof that I didn't model, so those are things that I can, you know, improve on. But I wish I'd gotten a little more substantial feedback, so that's my only gripe with the AP judging at the convention this year, is I didn't get enough. I was not expecting to get AP at all with this. I was expecting to get some feedback, and I really didn't, so, you know, I was a little frustrated. But in any case, with that said and done, yeah, Adam, yeah, it's a journey, it's a process for sure, and I get that, but it's, you know, my main goal was to get feedback, and I didn't get it, so it's kind of frustrating. Alright, let me keep working on this now. So, my goal here, I want to finish getting all the decals on this model before stream started tonight. I didn't quite get there, so we're going to wrap up getting the decals on here. I'm going to make sure I find all the bits and bobs that I tossed everywhere. There we go. Oh, and I also need to pull up some reference sheets for myself. Let me quickly open up. Shoot, what is it? Let's see. Don't think this decoder has any. Auxiliary functions, does it? I don't think so. Documents. Sorry, I'm just looking up the documentation for this decoder to make sure. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so this decoder will be going in the other locomotive that I have, which means that the decoder going in this locomotive will be this one, which is 146. Okay. So tonight's project is going to be getting the decoder in this GP9. And part of that is that I'm going to be trying to get a beacon light, a rotating beacon light, added in here. So instead of using what I would typically use for this this locomotive, which would be a TCS CN-GP, I will instead be using a Digitrax DZ146. I want to get into doing more with TCS decoders instead of Digitrax decoders, just in general, because I like the motor control on them a little better down in N scale. And Digitrax decoders I've found have a couple of things that I've not been super thrilled with. So, whereas the TCS ones I have definitely enjoyed. So, The only issue is the TCS ones are a little more pricey. But so this is the decoder we're going to be putting in, and it has extra lighting functions, which is what I need. Unfortunately, I really like for these older, these older style Atlas and Kato drives where it's got two discrete light boards. I like using the TCS CN-GP decoder. This guy. Because it makes it really easy. But I'm solid enough that I can do either or. But I just really like the CNGPs. So, alright, let's get these decals done. That way those can get settled on. Where's the half of the decals sheet that I need? Where'd the number go? Uh-oh. Come on, where did the locomotive number go? That's this is a problem. Oh, there it is. I found it. So let me wet this decal, get it installed. How has everyone been doing, by the way, while I'm doing this? How's everyone's modeling efforts been going? Adam, I know you've been working on the peanut butter lid for the mini prints. I'm sure that's been a fun project. Shush.
I filed a claim for my car with the Geico app.
Okay, next that. Now I need the road name reporting marks. Let's see, Adam's been trying to get it done. Laser waters are going to take you all week. Yeah, water can take a while once if you got to wait for different depths of resin to dry and everything. Painting ducks is the last of the detail work. Fun. Yeah, I can't wait to see the final product of that because that's super fun. And I know Paul is doing all sorts of fiddling with track as he was displaying proudly on his live stream. Much braver than I would be in doing a bunch of track work live on stream. But you might cry. Oh jeez. Where did my You were able to 3D print some fish. Sweet, Adam. Very nice. And Paul, it's really going that poorly, huh? Good evening, Closet Branch. Welcome into the stream. I'm currently working on trying to find my Q-tip so that I can continue to install. Oh, I found it. I'm working on I'm working on trying to finish decaling this locomotive so that I can get a decoder installed in it. But once I get the decals done, I'll be in a pretty good spot. Technically, I won't be able to finish the decals. Technically, I won't be able to finish the install tonight 100%, purely because I want to put a rotating beacon light on this. And I have the parts on hand, but I don't want to install the beacon light until I'm done sealing the decals on. And that's not happening tonight. But I don't want to do that because then it'll mess up with the I don't want to like craze the glazing on the rotating beacon light. Water is about 1/16 of the build, but it's in 1/8" layers. First layer went down this morning, still kind of liquid. Yeah, that water can take a while to get dry, to really cure. Hey, there you go, Paul. Darren will help you. Although I don't know if you can help you with a curved turnout that you don't have. That's really unfortunate. I could give you my curved turnout, Paul, but I don't know how helpful that would be for you. It might be a little bit too small for you. But I do actually right here, right somewhere here. There it is. I do have a curved Atlas Code 55 turnout right here. Unfortunately, I don't think this will work for you, Paul. Otherwise, I would be happy to give it to you. There's your video, Paul. There you go. Let's see. I hope to finish this bus build this week, too. Nice, Adam. Yeah, that bus has been coming really fun. So, if Darren cried, Paul would have reason to cry. That's funny. Or Darren helped. Started figuring out how to program a microcontroller so you can turn lights on and off. Oh, using JMRI MQTT. Nice. An acronym build sentence. True. I have a curved turn. Yeah, there you go. Two curved end scale turnouts is almost the same size as one HO turnout. That'll help you, Paul. We put them, one here and one here, and then you use the outside rails of that, and there's your turnout. It's like 50-pound rail because it's code 55, but yeah, it's close enough. All right, let me get this front marker on. Oh, no. Come back. Currently 17 minis on the peanut butter lid, not including the ducks, 7 of your own prints. That's awesome. Man, I want to get into 3D printing so bad, but I just don't have the space and or money to do that right now. It's not even so much the money. It really is most of the space that I don't have a space for a printer. I don't have anywhere where I could keep it when it's not in use. And I don't really have a ton of places to even set it up when I want to use it. So go. Alright, and now just to get the logos settled onto the unit. Do you want to just touch up how this logo is sitting? Oh, actually, it's sitting very nicely. So I just want to... Yeah, money. Yeah, no kidding. I gotta talk to Sean at Klondike to figure out, because he's given me a bunch of printer suggestions. But to be honest, when I have the space and money, I don't know if I'm gonna go for a printer first or if I'm gonna go for a laser first, like a very small scale laser. Just because I feel like that might be a little more useful to me out in the short term. Because then I can use that to cut, like, walls and windows and everything very precisely. I don't know. I'll figure it out eventually. Okay, I'm happy with how that's sitting. And let's get the big logo on the long hood. And then we gotta fire up the Dremel, because I need to Dremel out the channel for these wires to run on this locomotive. I might mute myself while I'm using the Dremel, just as a heads up to you folks, because I don't know how loud it's going to be. 10 days till Colorado RPM. Nice. That's an RPM. Man, I wish I could get to more RPMs this year. Can't get to Colorado because I can't afford that right now. I can't afford to fly out to Colorado just for a weekend, just for fun. Couldn't get to Markham this past weekend because I was busy enjoying myself at the NER convention. I don't know, I just want to get to more RPMs, but especially Colorado because of the freelance forum. That's going to be awesome. You'll have to fill us all in, all of us other freelancers, on give us the lowdown, Adam. So you have a Cobra 3 filament, Photon S, and the X-Tool S1 40-watt laser. Neat. Come on, slide off of that decal sheet, you dang thing. It's very sticky. There we go. So I did take a lot of pictures and videos and everything this weekend, but I'm not sharing them tonight, and I'm doing that intentionally because I will be making one big long video on my time there, maybe splitting it up into 2 parts or 3 parts or something, but I will be making a video of my time spent at the NER convention. I went to an ops session, which was a lot of fun. I went to the Conway Scenic. Took a nice ride with Paul on the Conway Scenic through beautiful Crawford's Notch. that was a gorgeous ride. That was a ton of fun. What else? Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to get any video really of the model room, the celebration room, because most of the time the celebration room was open was while I was riding the Conway Scenic. So I didn't get any video of that. I got a couple pictures of a couple of my models in the room, but nothing really good. And but I did get some video running on the Fremo setup. Paul's modules were there, which was really awesome to see those in person. Got a chance to do some switching on them. That was fun. So Scott's got the 20-watt version of the laser. Nice. The 2-watt IR module. I haven't used it yet. No idea what that means, but sounds cool. Oh no, where did it? Is that it? Yes. Okay, good. These locomotive nose decals are some of the hardest to get right. Dry or decal is wet. Let's get it in here. What? Why are you beeping, insulin pump? Let me get this situated and then I'll see what's beeping. Oh, good. Okay, great. So now I have to try and reposition this dang decal. Excuse me. Ah, infrared to engrave metal. Gotcha. Cool, cool, cool.
Need help with home projects? Yeah, me too. This is my yard.
It's like I understand IR is infrared.
Thumbtack is my go-to.
I understand 2W is 2 watt. Beyond that, I had no clue. So thank you for enlightening me. And why does the music suddenly have ads tonight? I haven't had ads on this music in weeks and weeks and weeks of playing it, and then all of a sudden, now it's full of ads. Okay, decals are on. Shell is going to go off to the side. So actually, before the shell fully goes off to the side, I have a question for you guys out there in the chat. And I asked this question in Paul's stream, and I got some good responses. And I asked in a couple of the Discord servers that I'm a part of, and I got some good responses. Where do you think that the beacon light should go on this locomotive? Because the on the BNCCS, the high hood Jeeps are running long hood forward. So this is the frontal locomotive. Now, for a lot of railroads, including railroads like the BN and Norfolk and Western, who ran long hood forward on high hood units, they had their beacon light on the cab. But some railroads, like I believe CP, ran with them on the long hood. And having them on the long hood would also improve the visibility, which is kind of the goal of the beacon. So, what are we thinking here? Garrett says engineering side of the cab or center of the cab. Okay, gotta vote for cab. Actually, I can set up a poll, I think. Oh, I also have another thing to share. I forgot that. Let's see if I can set up a poll. See if I can remember how to do this. Because I think I have the power. I can just remember how to do it. First, of course, I have to find my live stream, which is a pain. You don't have enough knowledge to give knowledgeable feedback, meaningful feedback. I mean, fair. I guess in that case, then, Scott, aesthetically, what do you think would look better? We'll go with that. Also, why is my camera lagging so much tonight? Yeesh. Engage my audience. Start a poll. Where? Beacon? Question mark. Cab, roof, long hood, roof. Start. There we go. Poll is up. There it is. There's the poll. So feel free to weigh in on that. But yeah, so that's the conundrum here, because even though I can't install the beacon tonight, like I was saying, I can't fully get it, glued into place and everything. I have the detail parts for it, because I have the detail parts. I got a set of 3 flashing beacons from, because one is going to go on the ST40-2, the BNCCS ST40-2. That'll be one of the next projects that I start on. But because I have extras, I wanted to put it on one of the Jeeps, and I came up with every locomotive that arrived on this property of the BNCCS between the years of 1969 and 1980. So anything that arrived on property between those years, whether it's new or secondhand or third hand or whatever, all of those locomotives got beacons installed. Everything before or after that did not get beacons installed. So what that means is the Jeep 7, which actually I should show on stream since I got it nice and dirty and weathered now. There's the Jeep 7. I'm very, very happy with how the weathering came out on it. Really looks like a workhorse, which is exactly the goal. But she will not be getting a beacon light because she was purchased new in 1954. Whereas the Jeep 7, or the Jeep 9 and her sisters were purchased in, I think, 1980? Hold on, I gotta pull up my spreadsheet to double check my year now. They were purchased secondhand from Conrail. They're ex-New York Central, Penn Central Conrail units. Yeah, 1980. 1980. Which I think is actually a little early. Realistically, I probably shouldn't. I probably should have it as like 1982, 1983. And I think at one point I did, but then I really wanted a beacon on one of the Jeeps, so I went with I pushed it up to 1980. Along with some of the Alcos. Alright, so right now, what's the poll saying? Where did the poll go? How did I lose a poll? Alright, let me pull up my phone. Because this is absurd that I lost the poll. Where's the poll? Where did the poll go? Is the poll still there? 1 on cab, 2 on long? Okay. Why can't they see the poll? What the heck? I'm so confused by where the poll went. I can't see it on my phone. I can't see it on my computer. I trust that it's there, Adam. I trust that. I just can't see it. Ah, there it is. Okay, I got it pulled up now. Oh, that's what it's yelling at me about. That's fine. Ta-da! Yeah, thank you. Thank you for making it appear, Adam. That's very helpful of you to have done for me. I just am so confused why it won't show up on my phone. But in any case, we'll let that run for a little while. We'll let that poll run for a little while, and we'll see in like 15 minutes or 20 minutes or something what the final result is. And why that's important is because then I need to know where to drill the hole, or where to get the LED wired to, and everything for this. But now, I'm just cleaning up a little bit of caked on grease out of the unit while it's opened up like this. And now for your next trick. Oh boy, what are you gonna do, Adam? Are you gonna make a curved turnout magically appear for Paul? I think he would appreciate that. Oh, it's 50-50 now. Oh boy. It's a tight race, folks. Tight race. Ah, code 100. Not quite what Paul needs, unfortunately, I think. I think he's working at 83. Please.
Here we go again. It's not the meat with the side of gas and diarrhea.
Sound familiar? Any of these digestive issues after
Please stop talking about digestive issues advertising. those are sufficiently cleaned up. All right, let's break out the Dremel here. All right, I'm gonna do a test here. I need you folks to tell me how loud this is. If this is too loud, and I should mute the mic. Tell me what we're hearing. Adam says it's fine. Danny says it's fine. Welcome, Danny. Good to see you. I don't know if you spoke earlier, but you were there for a minute. I saw your message, and then it went away. So I'm not entirely sure what happened, but okay, good to know that it's okay. All right, in that case, now the other question is, oh, there's Danny's message. Says the person that was 50% deaf till last month. Yeah, well, yeah, now you're not 50% deaf, so I can trust what you say now. Oh, well, I'm glad that you're here now, Danny. Good to have you. We're working on installing a Digitrax decoder into this GP9, and I've got the poll running here on where to put the beacon light on the shell here, whether it's on the cab roof or on the long hood roof right at the front. So, do I want to go find my? Nah. Right. I really think I should probably do this while it's assembled. Let me reassemble the halves of the shell here. No, 50% mute. Could always trust what he said. That's true. That's true. You are true. You are right about that, Paul. Now I can trust what he hears. Danny's vote is for the roof. Hey, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good improvement there. I'm glad to hear that, Adam. Where did my screwdriver just go? I literally just used it to unscrew the halves of the shell. How am I this talented at losing things? It literally is. Oh, there it is. It's standing vertically directly in front of me. Alright. Let me make sure all of the motor and everything is out of the way, that way we don't get any metal shavings in there. Was 85% left and 55 right before surgery. Yikes. Yeah, I'm glad that you got your hearing up higher. That's really good to hear. No pun intended. If the grinding ever does start to sound too loud, please let me know. I will mute the mic. Basically what I'm doing is I am using my Dremel with the milling bit to mill a line down the center here of the frame to make a nice trace for the wires to run in, and then I'm gonna do a couple of little channels down either side for the power pickups, and probably remove this notch, or at some point, in some way or another, drill a hole down to get to the motor contacts. Sean, good evening. Glad to have you here. Working on getting this frame ready for this decoder. By doing some milling. Oh, hold on. Before I injure myself, let me get my work glove on the hand that's holding the unit. because that will be a problem. When you did the N scale, you had a small milling machine. Yeah, I wish I had a small milling machine. But this has actually worked out fairly well. I got a handful of milling bits of varying sizes. And just chalking them into my Dremel and, you know, going slowly and steadily. It's worked quite well, actually. So, you know, I'm not complaining because it makes a nice cheap. Eventually, I do definitely want to get a real deal, milling machine, a little milling machine like tabletop, to do this because it obviously will be more precise and cleaner and all that. But yeah. All right, let me go grab my work glove. That way I don't skin my hand if it ever jumps off of the frame, because I have done that, so I don't want to repeat that. Right, let me grab that real quick. One moment. So it was here, I believe. I think I saw it fell down off the layout. No, it definitely did fall off. Ah, there it is. It got slightly buried. Have to be careful. The mill can rip a frame apart or twist it. Yeah, it's I go very slowly and very carefully with this, and I know I have to go very slowly and carefully with a real deal mill as well. But yeah, and I do make sure to lubricate so it doesn't heat up. I put just a little Labelle 108 on the milling bit and on the frame, just to keep wicking the heat away. Keystone Midland, welcome into the stream, my friend. Good to have you. Glad to see you've made it. So the nice thing about this is that because I'm removing the light board that was sitting here, I can just mount the decoder right here, and I don't have to worry about milling a spot for the decoder itself to sit. I'm just basically milling a channel for the wires to run. Lord Nikon, welcome in. The Proxon milling machine that you use is nice to use. I'll have to look into that, because at some point fairly soon I do want to start looking into getting some heavier duty tools, you know, to really do some of this stuff. So I'll have to look into the Proxon milling machine. And keep going down. We're making some good progress here, though. Did I take the motor out? Yes, yes I did, Adam. Otherwise, I would be in big, big trouble right now. Garrett, good night. Thanks for tuning in, my friend. Rest well. See you around. But yeah, Adam, I did take the motor out. It is right there, hiding behind the shell and well away from my working zone. That way I can be sure I don't get any metal shavings in the motor. Because I know that I did do enough reading up on doing these sorts of things before I started doing them that I knew to do that much. I think I've done 3 hardwire installs at this point. Maybe, yeah, I think 3. 2 and 1 A shell. This will be my 3rd N scale one. A little more. I want a little more oil on the bit. Still 50-50 on the beacon, so. Well, I guess it depends. 50-50 on the beacon. Danny, I know you in chat you voted for cab roof, but I don't know if you actually clicked on the little button in the poll. So Danny, if you could just chime in on whether or not you did that, then that'll may or may not break the tie. If you've done it, then we're still stuck at a tie. But if you haven't, then that would maybe break it. So, in any case, I think either location will look good. I think I just have to make a decision. Oh, there we go, 57% for the cab roof, which I think was a little bit how the direction I was leaning anyways, because it feels like, based on having looked at more prototype photos, I think the cab roof was a little more common, so it's kind of the direction I was leaning anyway, but I think that might be the winner then. August, good evening, my friend, good to have you. Welcome to the stream, welcome to the community. I am currently working on doing a little bit of milling on this GP9 frame so I can put a decoder in it. That'll be the next, once this is done, I'll start getting to work on the decoder. caramel chuck. A little more oil on here. Yeah, I should probably actually should have taken the brass tabs out. There we go. Okay, almost there. Getting there. Real close. Getting real close. Getting real close. Okay. That is that. I do want to take my file and just clean up some of the edges here, make sure they're not sharp. Okay, let's get my garbage here. Try to carefully brush as many of the metal shavings as I possibly can away into the garbage. Take this out here. Screws undone. Check out all these nuts and these spacers and everything. Sure I got a nice clean frame here. And then we can finally get to the decoder itself. Ideally, I'd have a vacuum for this, but I just don't have a vacuum here right now. Okay. Almost cleaned up here. Use it for weathering powder and gondolas. I mean, it's actually not a bad idea. You know, just little bits of scrap metal that are stuck in the bottom there. Unfortunately, maybe next time I'll be able to save it. This time I'm just scraping it right into the garbage just because I don't have anywhere to keep little metal shavings like that right now. It's not a bad idea though. Next time I install do a hardwire install and need to do some milling, it's not a bad plan at all. Let me get these frame halves cleaned out. Just a little bit more filing to make sure I don't have any sharp edges. Nothing for the wires to get stripped on. Really what I want to do at some point soon, very soon, is do a sound install. Because it's basically just this process, but it also involves getting prepared an area for the speaker. I really want to do a sound install, but I just haven't had the time to do it yet. I have time to sit down and figure it out. Scott, sounds good. Have a great night, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. It's good to have you here. I'll see you next time. Look at that. It only took us an hour to get to the... Oh, yeah, a little over an hour to get to the decoder itself. All right, let me make sure I have the documentation pulled up for me to watch. Uh-oh. What did I just click? Oh, that's fine. Let me unplug my Dremel and get that put away. Get that put out of the way. Actually, I'll put it in this pouch down here. Yeah. Now I can take out the soldering iron. Please tell me I have the kickstand for it here somewhere. Oh, jeez. Where did I put the kickstand? This is a problem. I can't really do the soldering without the kickstand because there's nowhere to put the soldering iron down when I'm not holding it actively. Jeez. Has to be up here somewhere, maybe. 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 Oh, also I gotta find my shrink tubing. Just realizing I don't know where I put my shrink tubing. Well, this may or may not actually happen tonight. I'm gonna try and find all the things that I need. I thought I had all the things that I need, but then it turns out that I don't have all the things that I need, which is a problem. Is it over here? Oh, there's the kickstand. Okay, good, good, good. Got the kickstand. So I can use the soldering iron. Now I need to find. Make a little bit of space for it. This random junk out of the way. Soldering iron. Put the hot glue sticks back away. Flux. I think that'll be good for now. And now I just gotta figure out where to put my heat shrink. Stack it on one of the piles that I've got going on down here. Oh no, there it is. It's on the shelf below my desk. Success. Okay. Good. I've got all the things that I actually need. Grab my LEDs. Should be right here. There we have them. All the LEDs that I've got. Okay. Move this out of the way. These all out of the way. Power, I've got to clean up Danbury. And actually, I do need one more thing, which is let me go grab it real quick. Last thing I needed was my DCC EX boards, so I can actually test this thing once the decoder's in. Because otherwise, I won't know if I screwed anything up. So let me get that hooked up real quick. I had it hooked up, and then I took it off. I unhooked it and put it all away because I was doing some cleaning up work on my desk, and then I never hooked it back up. But this is now officially going to be the primary power for my test track and everything here. So I really should just find a way to more permanently mount it to my test track here. And then that'll be my permanent test / programming track. Sorry, it's a little bit messy right now. I'm getting there. Disconnect these alligator clips from this wire because I don't need the gator clips. Let's bring this out over here. Nut down onto this wire. Let's do the other wire. Sounds good, Keystone Midland. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Appreciate you being here. Have a great rest of your evening. Rest well, and I'll see you around. Okay. Go. There we go. Put that in there. While I'm doing this, I really should be having my soldering iron heat up here. Let me get that hooked up. Multitasking. Yeah, there we go. Good. Get the soldering iron heated. Let's get the DCC EX board plugged in. Go. And just like that, we have my program slash test track up and running again. Alright, let's slowly reassemble this. Oh shoot, I'm just realizing that I never carved channels. For the power wires, or the pickup wires. No, this is not the right fuel tank. This one, did I put the fuel tank for the Jeep? The Jeep's up? No. Where did the Jeep 9 fuel tank go? Where did I put that? Alright, well, whatever. I'll find that in a minute. That. So there's the cap. Okay. There. Now we're oriented. I'm oriented in any case. I'm just gonna file a little channel in the side of this here. You know what? Now I'll break the Dremel back out. It's worth doing. It's worth doing. It's worth doing right. Shoot, that's actually the wrong place. Actually, what is the right place on this model to run power pickup down? There's no real good place, so we'll go right here, I guess. Okay, there's one side. Here's the other side. I think that should be deep enough. Back down to the garbage. Okay, good. Alright, let's rebuild this. Actually, no. Let's start with the motor. So, for the motor, we need the gray and orange. Alright, so let's see. I'm going to have the decoder sitting right here. Or am I going to have it sitting? No, I'm going to have it sitting right here. Okay. All right. We go ahead and trim off. Here's a question. Does anyone out there know if the top or the bottom is the positive side of of an N scale motor? 'Cause I forget. I knew, but I forget. So if anyone knows and could tell me, that'd be great. It's not the end of the world if I can't figure it out, because I can always reverse the how the decoder is set up. You know, swap forward for backwards, but nada. Alright, no worries, Adam. Like I said, it's not the end of the world, because I can always, in programming, swap the polarity of the motor. But okay. Well, orange is gonna go to the, well, actually, do I have any decodered locomotives nearby me at this very moment that I did the hardwire and that I could test? Not really. Alright, well, we're just gonna, oh wait, yes I do. Yes I do. Alright, let's open it up and check. Okay, gray goes on top. According to this decoder, gray goes on top. Let me double check with this one, because I forgot I put one in this one too. Let's see if this one matches. Yeah. No, bottom. Sorry, gray goes on bottom. I don't know why I said top. Gray goes on bottom. Gray goes on bottom. Gray goes on bottom. Okay. At least that's what I'm going with. Gray to the bottom. Right. I'm going to trim these to be about this long. I know I won't need the whole length of wire, so let me start by trimming that. That's why you always do black, white, black, red, orange, gray first, yeah. And that's the plan here too. Before I do any lighting, just get motor function. Once I get motor function, lighting is relatively easy. I say with absolute certainty. I said gray to the bottom, so we're going to draw on. I'm going to go ahead and get some solder flux onto wire tips and onto the contact pads here. My helping hands go. There they are. There we go. Solder, it's right here. Okay. Good on the orange. Flip to the gray side. Get this clamped. Oh geez, it's already almost 11 p.m. Well, I'm going to try to at least get motor function set up during the stream, and then maybe during the week I'll get lighting function and share. Come on. There we go. Good. Now let's get the motor set up into the frame again. Come on, clip in. Oh man, do I really have it upside down? Or backwards even? I had it backwards. Oh, that's okay. Let's get the spacers in here. Let's get the worm gear set back up. Helping hand out of the way again. Other worm gear into place. Go. Well seated there. Come on here, put just a touch of Labelle 108 in bearings. Wheel set up here. Go. nuts in. Get the screws in. Just decided to add a mini-me from one of your scans. Broke off your foot trying to primer it. That's my biggest issue that I've had with the mini-me's is that their feet are so dang just absolutely fragile. They're just so fragile. The rest of the print is like really good, but the feet are so fragile. Nope. 7 p.m. alarm, which means it's time to start wrapping up stream. Okay. Ah, son of a gun. Shoot, now I forget which way these brass pieces are supposed to go. I think they're supposed to go like this. Alright, well I need to pull this back apart anyways because I popped the orange wire off of the motor contact. So it's supposed to go like that. Alright, let's get this fixed. Come on. That's better. Yeah, it's a little more firmly attached there. Good. Oh shoot. Where did I put my roll of Kapton tape? That I think I can put up top here somewhere, right? Yes, right here. Well, I'm glad I thought of that now. That way I can actually get this nice and electrically insulated. One side insulated, or one half of one side in any case. Now we're going to do the bottom. Start with a new piece of tape here. Go. Pop the whole freaking motor back out again. Da, 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 da. automatically insulate this side. You know, I'm glad I realized it now and not after I'd buttoned everything up. Because if I'd realized after I'd closed everything up that I didn't insulate it, I would have been pretty mad at myself. Good, good, good. Go. Struggles of Cap on tape here. Getting it nice and neat. There we go. But it's worth doing. It's worth taking the time to get it done right. Go. Worm gears reinstalled right. Come on. Oh, good. Other worm gears right here. There we go. Okay. Get these nuts in place. Screw down in there. Screw down in there. dang thing. Screw that down a few times just to grab. Okay. Now we get the trucks back in. Get it screwed back together, nice and tight. Okay, back to where we should be. It's gonna go right there. Now need the pickup wipers. Definitely goes like this. Yes, there we go. Good. 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 Alright, red, right. Black, left. Let's pull the blue out of the way. Got red, right, black's left. Right there. There we go. Okay, good. Let's get this soldered on while I'm here. Why not? Brush, a little bit of flux. Wire. A little bit of flux onto the wiper. Solder to the end of the wire. The wire soldered nicely to the pickup. Its little channel. And now we'll do the same with the red. there. Okay. Let's get this tinned. Good to hear you got your foot reattached there, Adam. Thoroughly confusing. thoroughly confusing, Sean. Sean, to fill you in, he was 3D printing a mini version of himself, and as he primed it, the foot fell off, so he had to reattach his foot. You know, as one does. Average Monday evening, honestly. A little sketchy there for a bit, but the bones healed nicely. Good to hear, Adam. Does that qualify you as having had a second major procedure done recently? Okay, in theory, if I do this, if I get the phone back out that I used as the throttle for this, which might actually be dead. Okay, yes, this is dead. Okay, good. So give me one moment to grab a charger for it. And then once we are certain that we have motor control, I will grab the stream for the evening. Because it is getting quite late at this point. No. Oh, pardon me. Actually, no. What did I do? There we go. Plug that in. Okay. I really should have made sure this was charged up before the stream, but I wasn't thinking about that. Well, in the meantime, I suppose I can start. So who won the poll? I think it was the cab roof, correct? Yeah, cab roof won the poll, so let's end poll. So now it's just a question of, do I center it on the cab roof or do I have it on the engineer's side? What do we think? Centered on the cab or on the engineer's side of the cab? And while that happens, let me actually make sure I find the detail parts for it. That way I know which size hole to drill. Where did I put that? Where did that detail kit go? I'm thinking I might do engineer's side of the cab instead of centered. Did it fall down? It did fall down. Oh, there it is. So these are the detail parts that I have. Detail Associates 8222. Actually, I have to double check which one. I gotta use canopy glue, fix that issue. Wish you felt it would flat more, but yeah, it's good enough. Number 66 or a 0.33 inch. A pool for the mounting question. A pole for the mounting question. I could put up another pole, but I think I'm just gonna go for it. I think I like it a little more. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you got there. Don't worry about it. .033 inches to millimeters. One mil. Nope, not these. The ones that are open. Or wait, no, is it 0.8 mil? Well, actually, I'm going to do 0.9 mil, just to be safe. Because I'd rather have a little extra that I can fill in with some crystal clear or whatever, rather than a hole that's too small. 'Cause it's hard to widen a hole like that. Where did I put the Dremel? There it is. Oh, my phone has turned back on. There we go. Getting that turned on. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with offset on the engineer side because I think that's gonna look good. Okay. Let's get the app loaded up here. Also, let me... I'm thinking I'm gonna put it right here. Oops. Right here. Maybe a little bit more to the side, but I think right there is good. I'm gonna commit. Am I gonna commit? Am I gonna go? Let me pull up some photos again. Alright, let's get track power turned on. Do we have motor response? I do, but it's very halting right now. Now, I don't know if that's just because of dirty wheels. It looks like it very well may be just because of dirty wheels. Or maybe possibly even dirty rail. But you know what? Let me clean the wheels real quick. We'll see if that solves the problem any. This right here. First, let me make sure the rails. Oh, the rails aren't even that clean. Well, let's clean those up real quick. It is alive! It is alive indeed, Sean. Wow, these rails are quite dirty. Well, it's a good thing I looked to clean them. Alright. Oh, wow, yeah, those wheels were dirty. Much better. Yeah. That's how dirty the wheels were. So, okay, cool. So now let me just double check some of these reference photos that people shared with me. That has it centered. Alright, let me look up BN or no GT GP9 images. Is that also centered on the roof? It is centered. Alright, centered it is. Centered it is. Let me do a little bit of marking work here, just so I can be certain that I'm on the center line. There's my center line. And there we have it. We've got our hole drilled for our beacon light. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I do think that is where I'm going to wrap up, though, because it's now 11:40 p.m. But with some more wheel cleaning and some break-in runs, this bad boy is well on its way to being complete, which is very exciting. So now I can, now that all the decals are on, I will, tonight and tomorrow, I will finish, well, probably not tonight anymore, I'm just gonna go sleep at this point. But tomorrow I will make sure, tomorrow night I'll make sure all the decals are sealed on, and then I can start wiring up all the lighting. So, thanks for tuning in tonight, folks. August, Sean, good to see you guys are still here. Thanks for sticking around with me. I hope you all enjoyed. And I look forward to, hopefully next week, sharing this completed locomotive with you. And maybe even before then, maybe even sharing it with, sharing with you folks. Sharing it with you folks in its YouTube short. That's what I was trying to say before then. So, Adam, Sean, August, thank you all for tuning in. Thanks everyone else for tuning in tonight. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all on the next track.